Hi everybody and welcome back to another video. So today, this is going to be something very, very different than probably anything I've ever done before. It was something I just had at the top of my mind and I thought it would make a really, really cool idea to film. So obviously we know that the UK is currently in lockdown and for the second time schools have been forced to close. And being the film geek I am, I thought to myself, who would I choose from cinema to be my subject teachers? So I'll go through each secondary subject at school and I will pick a character who I think would suit that particular post as a teacher in that subject. Some of these selections might be logical, some might not be, but you know, it's a bit of fun. And I will be choosing these right off the top of my head as I'm filming this video. So of course the subjects are going to be English, maths, science. The three sciences include biology, chemistry and physics, languages, history, geography, art, PE, RE, music, computing and design and technology. So here we go, let's get started. English. I think my English teacher, I would probably choose John Keating from Dead Poets Society. And bear in mind, I haven't seen Dead Poets Society in a very long time. I was probably a kid the last time I watched it. But from what I can remember, he was a very, very heartfelt and inspiring teacher who saw the best in people, despite having very unique and unusual methods in how he would teach his students. And although I'm not really the biggest fan of poetry, and I didn't really like doing it at school, and I'm not very good at it, but I think just the character will be inspiring to me, and I think because I know how important English really is, that he would kind of give me that. And of course he was played by the late Robin Williams, obviously one of my favourite actors I absolutely loved, and it still devastates me the fact he's not here anymore, but you know, if he was my teacher I would listen to every single word of advice he would give me. I think I'd probably watch Dead Poets Society again now that I've talked about it. So yeah, I would definitely choose John Keating from Dead Poets Society, my English teacher. And right, maths is an interesting one because I don't want to go too advanced in terms of mathematical knowledge, because my mathematical knowledge is quite shocking compared to what it used to be like when I was at school, because I haven't done it for many, many years. So I think I would probably go with, just for the giggles, Miss Honey from Matilda, because there's a moment in the film when she teaches the times tables to the children, and of course Matilda shows her up by telling her the largest timetables that she said. You know, she said 13 times 379, I think it was. Correct me if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments what it really was. And yeah, I would just pick Miss Honey because she just has that warmth about her, and I think she'd make me feel, you know, a lot easier in understanding maths and working through it, because I'm not really the biggest fan of maths. I can't stand it actually. And not to mention, my best aspect of maths is probably times tables, so I think me and her would probably get along in that regard. So yeah, Miss Honey I would probably choose as my maths teacher. Any higher than that? No chance. So I'm going to start with biology, and I'm going to go with a very, very easy answer. John Hammond in Jurassic Park. It'd have to be him because he would teach me the prehistorical aspects of dinosaurs and everything that happened before we came along into the world. But also, I think he would bring me into a whole new dimension of knowledge about biology, not to mention history, as I've already mentioned. John Hammond would have been a fantastic teacher, and to be fair, I think Richard Attenborough would have been as well. So yeah, absolute no question. Right, chemistry. I think I'm just going to go with my instinct and say Philip Brainard from Flubber, because a bit like maths really, my strong suit isn't chemistry, and it never was when I was at school. But I think I would probably just see the funny and humorous side of it, and that's why I've chosen Philip Brainard, because again, Robin Williams, I've already chosen him once for Dead Poets Society. Williams plays a kid-friendly Frankenstein doctor who invents this formula called Flubber, and it has a mind of its own until it spirals out of control, out of his control. So like Frankenstein, he takes unusual methods in creating these formulas, and you know, for very unusual reasons, and I think that's why I would probably learn a lot from the fun side of chemistry about how it works. So yeah, I would probably choose Philip Brainard for that. So physics, I don't even know why I need to think about this one really, because it's fairly obvious. It's got to be Stephen Hawking from The Theory of Everything, because pretty much the entire film focuses on physics and the theory of the universe and how it was formed and all of those things. So I think it's fairly obvious that I've got to include that, so it's got to be Stephen Hawking from The Theory of Everything. Languages. I would probably go with Colonel Lander from Inglourious Basterds. So you're probably thinking to yourselves now, why have I chosen a villain to be a language teacher? And it's pretty simple, because the guy speaks 4 languages in the film: German, English, French and Italian, even though Italian's only one scene. But it's important because he kind of understands the cultures of all 4 countries in Europe during a critical time, which was of course the Second World War. And I think in terms of the languages, I think he'd be a very resourceful person to learn from. I'm just leaving it to imagine for myself what a conversation between myself and Landa would be like in German, French or Italian. But you know, it's just I think he's probably the closest one to pick in terms of languages and having that knowledge of other countries and other characters. So yeah, Colonel Landa in Inglourious Basterds, my language teacher. History, I think I would probably choose Hermione from Harry Potter. It's strange because yes, it's a child, but I think because of the knowledge that she brings to the table in front of her classmates while she's at Hogwarts, and even shows some of her teachers up, I think would be fundamental in how she would teach history. She knows a lot about Hogwarts, she knows a lot about the past, and also whether this even happened in Harry Potter, I don't know. The time turner that she had, whether she went in the past and got more knowledge on history of magic and whatever in the books and the films. So, you know, I think I would probably pick Hermione for her knowledge more than anything. Now, geography. This is probably the most difficult one, I would say, because it's a subject that kind of has different various meanings, really, because obviously it's a bit about the environment, it's a bit about the countries that we live in, the cities, and also about the culture and the people, so it does vary really. I'm probably going to go with Jamal from Slumdog Millionaire. And why I've picked him is because he's a character who has experienced living in the slums of a certain part of the world, which was Mumbai in India. And when he goes on this TV show to become a millionaire, hence the name of the show, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, he kind of builds something else for himself, while also looking back on his history and looking on the environment he grew up in. I think based on the experience of the world and the environment, I think he would be very resourceful to learn from, and just the experience of living in different parts of the world too. I swear, because of all these films that I'm picking, I've got to sit back and watch them again, because a lot of these were just picked off the top of my head. So yeah, it's got to be Jamal from Slumdog Millionaire. Ari, I would probably go with Yoda from Star Wars, because he's the head of practically a religious culture, which is of course the Jedi, because they have these certain rules and these certain boundaries of what you obey, what you don't obey, and he's just very, very wise, and that's what he's known for as a Jedi. Despite being about 2 inches tall, he's very powerful, very noble, and of course the moment when he's training Luke in The Empire Strikes Back and has taught other characters in the saga as well, I think he would be a very good role model in terms of learning about a certain culture and a certain belief about how people behave and do things in life. So yeah, my RE teacher would 100% be Yoda. PE. I'm trying to think of one that isn't like a sports teacher as such. I would probably go with Gunnery Sergeant Hartman in Full Metal Jacket. Of course, being a senior drill instructor, he'd probably be the strictest teacher on planet Earth. He would verbally abuse you, he'd physically abuse you, and he would just make you feel about this big. But at the same time, he would discipline you as a PE teacher, I think, because he would encourage you to get fit, he would encourage you to get something out of you almost. And I think he did that eventually with Private Pile, because he ridiculed Private Pile for his weight by, you know, calling him names and saying, comparing him with people and all of that. But I think he would eventually get through to a lot of people, and he did with Private Pile, but just not in the right way. Yeah, he would definitely keep me in shape, let's put it that way. He'd definitely keep me on my toes if he was my PE teacher. But yeah, I would probably choose him. For an art teacher, I would probably go with Margaret Keane from Big Eyes. Of course, she's an artist, played by Amy Adams, and she had a very unique style for art, you know, hence the title of the film, Big Eyes. And I think she'd be really good in terms of teaching me a unique way of drawing people or things and giving me my own style, because she had her own. So yeah, it would definitely be Margaret Keane from Big Eyes. IT and computing. I would probably say HAL 9000 from 2001: A Space Odyssey. Yeah, a very odd idea and quite ironic really that I've chosen a computer to teach me computing. But I think why I've chosen HAL is because of his intelligence, that he's aware of things, because he leads the technology and he has a mind of his own really. And I think he would kind of give me an insight into the idea of computing, I suppose, you know, of how it works and the developments and advancements of artificial intelligence, which I think it probably will be the case in the future, and how far we've gone, really. So yeah, that's probably why I would choose HAL 9000, although I don't think I'd want to get on the wrong side of him or slag him off behind his back, but because he'll read my lips anyway. So design and technology would probably be Tony Stark from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This is probably the most obvious one I've probably done so far. And I think why I would probably say Tony Stark's the best choice for that is because it's his livelihood, you know, it's part of his business, it's part of his life, and not to mention it's part of the character, which of course is his alter ego, Iron Man. He created the suit and everything else surrounding that particular character, and he accidentally created a villain in Ultron, so I think he would be very, very resourceful. That knowledge I think would be very, very beneficial for students and for anyone who's interested in it, you know, even students in the series. You know, Peter Parker was pretty much his apprentice, so I think Tony Stark's an absolute no-brainer for DT. I think he'd be a lot of banter to have him as a teacher at school, but also very resourceful and very informative at the same time. Right, so music. I'm trying to think of someone who's not based on a real person. I'm probably going to go with, oh I know, Dewey Finn from School of Rock, because he's a teacher, well supposedly a teacher, who goes into a school and teaches the children how to play music. And of course it kind of changes a little bit where he teaches them something different than what is in the general curriculum of the school. So I think he'd be a lot of fun, he'd be funny. I mean, Jack Black, it's probably my favourite Jack Black film. I'm not really keen on him as an actor, to be honest. I don't find him that funny, but I do really like him in School of Rock. And yeah, Dewey Finn would be brilliant, and I think he'd definitely bring the humorous side to music as a teacher at school, and the stage adaptation's very good as well, so I would definitely recommend you see that when of course we can go and see shows again. And yeah, I think Dewey Finn would be a worthy addition to a school, but I think he would annoy a lot of people, including myself on occasions, but I think eventually I'd get on with him, and you know, I think he would bring in that musical side of me that isn't even in me at all really, but I think he would potentially bring that in anyway. So yeah, the reason why I've chosen to do this video again is because of the schools being closed during this coronavirus lockdown in the new year, and I just thought I'd do something a bit different, and I hope you enjoyed it anyway. And who would you choose to be your cinematic teachers in different subjects? Let me know in the comments what you think, and if you did go on to enjoy this video, please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe, and have a notification bell tick for every single time I upload a video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care everybody.